Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into a topic today that's, well, kind of out there. UFOs.
It's definitely a subject that captures the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't looked up at the night sky and wondered, right?
Hmm.
But today, we're not just speculating.
We're going deep into some first-hand accounts and declassified documents.
Exactly. We're focusing on a specific case, something that allegedly happened at a convent in New Mexico called St. Hilary's.
Back in December '78, just before a big Mexican holiday.
It might sound like the setup for a sci-fi movie, but trust me, the details are fascinating.
One of the most interesting aspects of this case is our main witness.
Sister Lucy, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't just any nun. Sister Lucy actually held a PhD in astrophysics.
Oh, wow. So she was a serious scientist before joining the convent.
Exactly. She even worked at an observatory for several years.
So when she reports seeing a UFO, it's not some random person off the street.
It definitely lends a certain level of credibility to her account.
So what exactly did she see?
She described the object as a triad. 3 cylindrical sections all linked together.
Unlike any aircraft I've ever heard of.
She was adamant about that, said it was nothing she'd ever seen before.
And there's that detail in her account about the landing gear.
Oh, right, the beams of pure light.
Yeah, such a vivid image.
It's definitely a detail that sticks with you.
But it gets even weirder. Sister Lucy also claimed to receive thoughts from the UFO.
You mean like telepathic communication?
That's what she describes, not actual words, but clear thoughts, ideas.
That's pretty far out there. Did she feel threatened?
No, actually the opposite. She said the thoughts conveyed peaceful intentions.
So why not just land and say hello? What's with the whole cryptic UFO routine?
Well, according to Sister Lucy, the message, those thoughts, suddenly got jammed.
Jammed, like a radio signal.
That's how she put it, like someone was intentionally blocking the communication.
Almost as if there were 2 sides, one trying to talk, the other trying to stop it.
Okay, now it's getting spooky.
There's more. Both Sister Lucy and another nun, Sister Anna, they both had a shared vision while watching this UFO.
A vision, like a religious experience.
Not quite. They both described seeing a vivid moving image, a burning flame, and a rose.
A rose? What kind of rose?
A red rose, specifically.
Fire and a rose. That's a powerful image.
It certainly is. And open to interpretation, of course. Some see it as a symbol of transformation, maybe even a warning.
But without more context, it's hard to say for sure.
Exactly. And here's where things get even more intense. Immediately after the UFO disappears, Sister Anna dies.
Like right then and there.
Suddenly and unexpectedly.
Wow. So was it just a coincidence? Or is there some connection to the UFO?
That's the question, isn't it? And to make things even more complicated, the Air Force launched an investigation.
Well, that makes sense, right? They'd want to know what was going on.
But so did a Monsignor from the Archdiocese.
Really? Why would the church get involved?
Seems they were both concerned about the fallout if the story got out.
I guess the Air Force would be worried about national security.
Especially during the Cold War. And the church, maybe they were worried about the impact on faith, on religious doctrine.
So they both wanted to control the narrative, for different reasons. What did that mean for Sister Lucy?
The Monsignor actually pressured her to deny the whole thing.
Deny seeing the UFO.
Yeah, he said it was probably just exhaustion, her imagination running wild.
But Sister Lucy stood by her story.
Absolutely. She insisted she was telling the truth, what she actually experienced.
That must have taken some courage, facing down both the church and the Air Force.
It definitely did. And ultimately, all this pressure, plus the UFO encounter itself, it led Sister Lucy to a big decision.
She left the order.
She did. But just before leaving St. Hilary's, she received one final message from the UFO.
They contacted her again, even after she left the convent.
Through a vision, this time. And this message, it adds a whole new layer to the story.
What did they say?
They said, "We lived here once, that Earth was their home."
Hold on, are they saying that Earth used to belong to aliens?
That's what it sounds like.
Now things are getting really interesting.
They certainly are. We have to be careful here, though, right? I mean, we are relying on Sister Lucy's account for all of this.
Right, of course. But even if we're skeptical, there are still so many questions. Like, why these 2 nuns?
Yeah, why them? And what about that vision, the fire and the rose? What did it all mean?
It's been puzzling people for decades. But Sister Lucy, she didn't just sit back, She tried to figure it out.
You're talking about those notes she kept.
Yeah, where she was trying to connect the fire and the rose. It's like she was piecing together a puzzle.
Trying to understand the vision, the messages. It's pretty amazing, actually, when you think about it.
Going up against the church, the Air Force, she was determined to find the truth.
It really shows you the power of these events. They can shake up even the most fundamental beliefs.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about the Air Force investigation? It seems like they were pretty quick to dismiss Sister Lucy.
Well, you have to remember the context, right? This was the Cold War. Paranoia, secrecy, all that.
So anything unusual, they just swept it under the rug.
Pretty much. Weather balloons, misidentified aircraft, mass hysteria, you name it.
But Sister Lucy, she was a trained astronomer. You'd think they would take her seriously.
You would think so. But it seems like controlling the narrative, it was more important than the truth.
So they were more interested in covering up UFO sightings than investigating them.
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a possibility. Some of the documents even suggest they tried to discredit Sister Lucy.
Make her look unreliable.
Exactly, saying her vision was a hallucination, blaming it on stress. We see this a lot with UFO cases.
Witnesses get dismissed, evidence gets buried. It's frustrating.
It really is. Makes you wonder what else is out there, hidden from view. So where does that leave us?
If we can't trust the official reports, how do we know what to believe? How do we separate fact from fiction?
It's a challenge for sure. We have to be critical of all sources, official or not. Look for patterns, corroborating evidence, and most importantly, I think, keep an open mind.
Open to the possibility that there are things we don't understand yet.
Exactly, because the universe is vast and we've only scratched the surface.
So even if we can't prove what happened at St. Hilary's, what can we learn from it?
I think Sister Lucy's story teaches us that just because we can't explain something doesn't mean it's not real.
We should stay curious, keep asking questions.
Exactly. The pursuit of knowledge, it demands an open mind, a willingness to accept that there might be things out there beyond our current understanding.
You know, as you're talking, I keep thinking about that last message Sister Lucy got. Earth being their home. What does that even mean?
It's a mind-blowing concept, isn't it? Did they visit us in the past? Did they leave something behind? Or is it something even bigger, something that changes our whole understanding of history?
It's almost too much to think about.
It is. But that's the beauty of it, right? These questions, they push us to explore, to challenge our assumptions, to embrace the unknown.
You know, it's amazing to think about Sister Lucy's journey from scientist to nun, and then having this encounter. Like, where does science end and faith begin?
It's a great question, and her experience really challenged her on both those levels. Trying to make sense of this thing scientifically, and then dealing with the church and the Air Force.
It seems like both those institutions were more interested in protecting themselves than finding out the truth, you know?
Yeah, they wanted to explain it away, fit it into a neat little box.
And when she wouldn't back down, they tried to discredit her. It makes you wonder, if someone like Sister Lucy can be silenced, what else is being hidden?
It really highlights the importance of thinking for ourselves, you know? Not just accepting what we're told. We need to be critical, look at the evidence, and stay open to new possibilities.
So trust our gut, but always double check.
But yeah, find that balance between intuition and critical thinking, and never lose that sense of curiosity.
Well, this deep dive has definitely made me more curious about, well, everything. It's incredible to think there might be things out there we can't even imagine.
It's humbling, isn't it? The universe is vast, full of mysteries, and maybe that's what makes it so fascinating.
Even if we never know for sure what happened at St. Hilary's, just the fact that it happened, that people like Sister Lucy spoke out, it makes us question everything.
It pushes us to keep searching, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions.
Well said. This has been an incredible journey, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to do some exploring of their own. Keep an open mind, keep looking up, and who knows what you might discover. Until next time, keep diving deep.